As he prepares to make the trip to Green Bay for the 2025 NFL Draft next week, Jalen Milroe's name continues to generate serious buzz, not only for what he accomplished during his college career but also for the growing uncertainty surrounding where he might land in the pros. Once viewed as a fringe top 100 prospect, the former Alabama quarterback has become one of the most fascinating and polarizing figures in this year's draft class. And now, with recent projections by ESPN analyst Mel Kiper Jr., Milroe's trajectory may very well intersect with the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most storied franchises in football and a team still seeking clarity at the quarterback position. In a 3-round mock draft co-hosted with Field Yates, Kiper made waves by projecting a significant move from the Steelers in the 3rd round. According to his mock, Pittsburgh trades with the Las Vegas Raiders to acquire the number 83 overall pick, targeting Jalen Milroe as their quarterback of the future. This aggressive maneuver may have caught some fans off guard, especially given that Kiper's draft board had the Steelers trading out of the 1st round entirely. But for Kiper, the logic is simple: if Milroe is still available at that point in the draft, the risk is worth the potential reward. "Got to get a young quarterback," Kiper said during the ESPN mock draft special. And with Jalen Milroe slipping through the cracks and sliding down to a point where you've got to go get him, you've got to roll the dice. If you can do with Jalen Milroe, hey, look what the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. Look what the Buffalo Bills did with Josh Allen. You've got to create a quarterback who can be consistent throwing the football and more accurate throwing the football. This comparison to Jackson and Allen is more than just a flattering parallel. It's a roadmap that many NFL evaluators are now seriously considering when it comes to dual-threat quarterbacks who enter the league with immense physical tools but raw mechanics or inconsistent passing acumen. Milroe's college career displayed flashes of brilliance, particularly in the 2024 season when he led Alabama to an SEC championship appearance and delivered multiple highlight reel performances. But he also had moments where his inexperience showed, especially when forced to read defenses quickly and throw into tight windows. Still, the raw tools are impossible to ignore. Milroe boasts a cannon for an arm, one that Kiper described as a rocket, capable of launching deep passes with ease. He stands at 6'2", weighs 217 pounds, and has a chiseled frame built to absorb contact. His speed, agility, and ability to escape the pocket make him a nightmare for defenders in broken play situations. Simply put, his athletic upside is elite, and in today's NFL, where mobility and improvisation have become prerequisites for success, Milroe fits the mold. He's going to be used in packages right away, Kiper continued. But whether he's ready to throw the football in the NFL at a consistent level or not, his running skills are big time. So I think you roll the dice here, you go get him, and you hope you can develop Jalen Milroe into a quality starting quarterback. Of course, this entire conversation exists within the context of Pittsburgh's ongoing quarterback situation. As of now, the biggest domino yet to fall is the status of free agent Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers remain the frontrunners to sign the former Packers and Jets signal caller, but as of this writing, no deal has been finalized. Rodgers, now 41 years old, is reportedly still weighing his options, including potential retirement. The uncertainty surrounding his decision has left Pittsburgh in a delicate holding pattern, unsure whether they're entering the season with a win-now mindset or beginning the search for their next franchise quarterback. Even if Rodgers does end up in black and gold, ESPN's Field Yates argues that the Steelers would be wise to plan for the future regardless. "When it comes to quarterbacks, what you don't do is get cute in the draft," Yates said. "If Jalen Milroe is somewhere still here, and Mel and I are not even totally sold that he will make it to the 3rd round, but if he is there, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you make the aggressive move up the board." Yates' point cuts to the heart of Pittsburgh's dilemma. The team has been on the quarterback carousel since Ben Roethlisberger retired, and while they've experimented with names like Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph, none have solidified themselves as long-term solutions. Rodgers, if signed, would offer a short-term fix and a chance to compete immediately. But what comes after him? That's the question Pittsburgh must begin answering now, not 2 years from now when the cupboard is bare. There are other teams, Yates added, that could be in the quarterback market. And while Jalen Milroe has one of the most tantalizing skill sets that we have talked about throughout this process, he also is going to have some appeal to teams that don't need a quarterback right now but are thinking far ahead. So you can't assume that just because the teams that need a quarterback right away have already made their investments, that he will get to you at that original slot with your third-round pick. That line of thinking, aggressiveness over passiveness, is one that has defined some of the best front offices in the NFL over the past decade. Teams like the Chiefs, Eagles, and Ravens have built their rosters around young quarterbacks with unique skill sets, surrounding them with supportive coaching structures and defensive systems designed to maximize their strengths. The Steelers have long been a team that values tradition and patience, but in a rapidly evolving league, adaptability is key. And Milroe, in many ways, is the kind of prospect who demands that adaptability. His transition to the NFL won't be seamless. He'll need time, coaching, and a system that allows him to grow. But that's exactly why Pittsburgh could be a perfect landing spot. With a defense still loaded with stars like T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick, and an offensive infrastructure that's improved over the past 2 off-seasons, the Steelers can afford to take a quarterback like Milroe and not rush his development. Whether Rodgers signs or not, Milroe could sit for a season or 2, learn the playbook, refine his mechanics, and eventually emerge as the quarterback of the future. There's also the cultural fit to consider. Pittsburgh is a blue-collar city that appreciates grit, toughness, and players who embrace hard work over hype. Milroe, despite his status as a high-profile recruit and starter at one of the nation's most prominent programs, has always approached the game with humility. His coaches at Alabama consistently praised his work ethic, leadership, and willingness to learn from mistakes. Those traits matter in the NFL, especially in a city like Pittsburgh where the margin for error is slim and the expectations are high. As the draft approaches, the Steelers front office, led by GM Omar Khan and head coach Mike Tomlin, will continue to evaluate all options. If Rodgers commits before the draft, that opens the door for a developmental pick like Milroe to make even more sense. If Rodgers doesn't sign, then Milroe might become a more immediate priority. Either way, the team can't afford to stand still. The AFC is loaded with elite quarterback talent, from Patrick Mahomes to Joe Burrow to Lamar Jackson, and without a long-term answer at the position, the Steelers risk falling behind. Milroe's draft stock, meanwhile, remains fluid. Some analysts believe he could sneak into the late second round if a team falls in love with his upside. Others view him strictly as a third-rounder with long-term potential. Either way, it's clear he won't last long on day 2. The question is, will Pittsburgh be the team that takes the chance? Mel Kiper thinks they should. Field Yates agrees. And as Jalen Milroe packs his bags for Green Bay, fully aware that his future hangs in the balance, one thing is certain, all eyes will be on the Steelers. Because if they make the call and roll the dice, Jalen Milroe might just be the next quarterback to define a new era in Pittsburgh football.